Today, we're exploring the scope of considering multiple intelligences, MI, in ELT lesson planning, what it can do, what it cannot do, and how to design lessons that respect learner diversity without turning your lesson plan into a chaotic set of unrelated activities. Scope of considering multiple intelligences in planning lessons for ELT lesson planning. What if your weak English learner is not weak at all, just being taught through the wrong doorway? In many ELT classrooms, lessons are built mainly for students who learn best through words, reading, and teacher explanations. But language learning is not only verbal, it's also social, musical, spatial, physical, and deeply personal. Hello, students. My name is Mumtaz. I hope you are enjoying today's interactive learning session. Please attempt all tasks on paper, then share your work on WhatsApp. After the class, upload the same work to our Google Classroom. What multiple intelligences means in ELT. Gardner's multiple intelligences. Multiple intelligences, most commonly associated with Howard Gardner, proposes that intelligence is not a single general ability measured only through tests. Instead, learners show strengths across different domains. In the classroom, MI is often represented through categories like 1. Linguistic, words, reading, writing; 2. Logical mathematical, patterns, reasoning; 3. Spatial, visualization, design; 4. Bodily kinesthetic, movement, hands-on tasks; 5. Musical, rhythm, sound patterns; 6. Interpersonal, social interaction, collaboration; 7. Intrapersonal, self-awareness, reflection; and 8. Naturalistic, classification, real-world observation. Pause the video. Task 1, 8 minutes. For each category listed above, briefly explain how it can be used in the ELT classroom. Now, in ELT, language is obviously tied to linguistic intelligence, but language learning is also cognitive, social, emotional, and embodied. That's why MI becomes useful as a lesson planning lens. It pushes us to ask, how many entry points am I giving learners to access meaning and produce language? Pause the video. Task 2, 3 minutes. Why MI becomes useful and matters as lesson planning lens. Thank you for watching. If you found this lesson helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it. Let's define scope here as the practical range of ways MI can improve ELT lesson design and learning opportunities. 1. MI expands engagement. When learners can engage through strengths like visuals, movement, or music, they're more likely to participate. This is particularly relevant for mixed ability classrooms where motivation varies widely. Pause the video. Task 3, 3 minutes. How do you explain the word strengths, keeping MI in mind? 2. MI increases access to meaning, input. In ELT, comprehension often depends on how input is delivered. MI encourages multimodal input. A story can be read, mapped, acted, or discussed. This aligns strongly with multimodal learning theory and classroom practices, where learners process language through more than text alone. Pause the video. Task 4, 6 minutes. What is multimodal input? How it helps in ELT classes? Students, MI diversifies output pathways, language production. Traditional ELT often privileges one type of output, writing or speaking in a formal pattern. MI planning broadens output forms while still targeting language objectives. Students can present, role-play, create infographics, record dialogues, or design posters, all of which can demand meaningful language use. Similarly, MI supports inclusive and differentiated instruction. MI acts as a differentiation tool. Not different objectives for every learner, but different routes to the same objective. So the scope is strongest when MI is used for inclusion, engagement, scaffolding, differentiation, and increasing language use opportunities. Pause the video. Task 5, 10 minutes. In what ways does MI genuinely support inclusive and differentiated instruction in ELT? And how can teachers verify that MI-based activities improve access and outcomes for diverse learners rather than simply adding variety without pedagogical impact? Dear students, before we apply MI, we need one critical clarification. MI is often misused as if it proves fixed learning styles, like this student is a visual learner, so only teach visually. That approach has major research criticisms. In good ELT planning, MI should not become labeling students, forcing a fixed one intelligence per learner assumption, or designing activities that look fun but don't support language outcomes. Instead, MI works best as a planning framework for variety, a tool for inclusive participation, and a way to multiply meaningful language use practice. So the scope of MI is pedagogical design, not psychological diagnosis. Pause the video. Task 6, 15 minutes. To what extent does using multiple intelligences, MI, in ELT lesson planning risk labeling students, and what specific planning practices can prevent MI from becoming a fixed ability identity rather than a flexible instructional tool? Thank you for watching. If you found this lesson helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it. Now let's get practical. Here's a clean method to use MI in ELT lesson plans without overload. MI lesson planning model. Objective, to input, to practice, to output, to assessment. Step 1. Start with a clear language objective. For example, students will use past simple to narrate a personal event with time expressions. Your objective must remain language-centered. Step 2. Plan 2 to 3 MI entry points for input, not 8. Input could include linguistic, short narrative text, spatial, timeline graphic of the story, musical, optional, rhythm chant for irregular verbs. Notice, you're not doing everything, only what helps comprehension. Step 3. Guided practice with structured interaction. Examples: interpersonal, pair retelling using prompts; logical, verb sorting, regular versus irregular, plus pattern noticing; kinesthetic, sequencing sentence strips around the room. Notice, each activity still practices the same grammar and meaning. Step 4. Output choice. One objective, multiple products. Learners choose one. Write a short personal narrative, linguistic. Record an interview role-play about a past event, interpersonal. Create a comic strip story with captions using past tense, spatial, plus linguistic. This is the heart of MI scope in ELT. Choice-based output while maintaining the same language target. So MI doesn't weaken assessment, it strengthens fairness by valuing multiple ways of showing learning. Best fit contexts for MI in ELT. Pause the video. Task 7, 10 minutes. If MI-based assessment claims to strengthen fairness by valuing multiple ways of showing learning, what evidence and criteria can teachers use to ensure these varied assessment modes are still comparable, valid, and not introducing new forms of bias or grade inflation? Dear students, thank you for watching. If you found this lesson helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it. Dear students, MI is especially useful in 1. Large mixed ability classes, 2. Multilingual classrooms, 3. Young learners and adolescents, 4.
project-based learning. 5. Skills integration lessons, reading, speaking, writing in a sequence. 6. Communicative language teaching contexts. It's also powerful in 8. Vocabulary teaching, 9. Storytelling, 10. Speaking confidence building, 11. Pronunciation through rhythm, and 12. Task-based language learning. Students, so the scope of considering multiple intelligences in ELT lesson planning is not about making 8 activities for 8 intelligences. It's about designing multiple access points, enabling inclusive participation, and offering varied, meaningful language production while keeping language objectives and assessment criteria consistent. Thank you for watching. If you found this lesson helpful, please like, subscribe, and